Hey, this is Mark Adams at James Lick High School, and in this video, we're going to grade an assignment using the SpeedGrader. Now, how do you get to the SpeedGrader? There's a number of ways to do that. One way is to go into an assignment and then click on SpeedGrader. It's typically on the right-hand side. And then you can grade all of the assignments that were submitted in this category. Another way is to go into your grade book, find an assignment that you want to grade, click on the three-dot menu, and then scroll down and just click on SpeedGrader. But the number one way that I get to the SpeedGrader is going to the to-do list, which is typically on the right-hand side here. The nice thing about this is that anything that's digitally submitted automatically goes to this to-do list. So I don't have to be hunting for assignments that have been submitted. I automatically know they're right here. And so I'm just going to click on the to-do list here for this assignment. It's going to open it up, and I've got my assignment that I'm going to grade. So let's look at the windows here. On the left side, you can see the document that was submitted. This could also be a slideshow, it could be a video. Sometimes if it's media, you have to download the media and view it in a certain type of a player. But a lot of documents you can just view right here on the left side. Over here on the right-hand side, you have a little pencil at the top where you can indicate if something's late. Now, Canvas will automatically apply the lateness to it. So, but you can deselect it. So if it was already marked late, I can just go to none, and so I can unselect it as late if I'm using a late work deduction, which I don't typically use. But if I am deducting points for late work, I can override that by just selecting none here. You might be thinking, why would you mark an assignment missing if it's already here? Sometimes students submit the wrong assignment. I've had students submit their notes to another class. So I would mark it missing right here, and then I would leave a comment down here on the bottom right and just say, hey, wrong assignment, please resubmit. So we have some things that we can use here. If I mark it excused, it'll just put in EX. And let's just get rid of that excuse. So I'm just going to delete that and click out of that area. I can also type in EX. That's the only code that will work. But again, let's get rid of that. Let's talk about how this saves the grade. So what I do is I can just put in a number. So let's just put in 43 points. And then if I click on another student, see, it automatically saved. Let's get rid of that again. If I click right here, then it'll automatically save. So I'm just going to let's put in 35, and I'm going to click right there. So anytime I do any clicking outside of that little square, it's automatically going to save it. Now, I did attach a rubric for this assignment, so I want to use the rubric to grade this assignment. So I read the assignment, and then I can click on View Rubric, and I can use these little three dots here. I can slide this back and forth, and just to make it comfortable. Sometimes I allow for a little left-right action here so I can see more of the document on this side. And to grade this assignment using the rubric, I'm just going to click on some buttons, and you'll see that it's indicated that it's been graded in this category with that little color at the bottom, and you can see it'll change here to another color. And so I'm just going to select kind of randomly. This is just the test student. Select randomly, and then I'm going to hit Save, and Canvas will calculate the total, and it will insert it here in the box, and you'll see it's marked with a check mark, meaning that this has been graded. Now, if I want to leave a comment for the assignment, I can scroll down to the bottom, and I can type a comment here. So this is what I call the right side comment feature, because there's also a comment feature here on the left side. I'm going to hit Submit. And then students can see comments that I make for the entire assignment, and they can even respond back to them. Now, if this assignment needs to be redone, and I want this student to resubmit it, I leave a comment here. Please review objectives and resubmit. And then I'll hit Save. I need to leave a comment. This little button down here will become active, and I can hit it, and now the student has been reassigned the assignment. I've left some comments so they know why it's been reassigned, and it goes to their to-do list. That's really cool. So it goes right back to their to-do list. It's an unfinished assignment now. When they resubmit it, I will see a dot here instead of a check mark, and then I will give it a new grade. And I can also, there's a little drop down that will appear here, so I can go between different submissions so I can see how they revised it. Let's talk about the left side and how we can leave comments here. So I'm going to get rid of these little messages. All right, so I've got the document here. Sometimes I'll just slide this over as much as I can, and I'll just use this to leave comments. By the way, sometimes it's a little tricky to drag this back because it's kind of hard to grab those dots. If you just double click on them, it'll just pop back to its form. And so you got this left-right action, and then you can just totally slide it over, and then I can start leaving some comments here. There's different tools. This little point annotation, so I can just pinpoint where I want to leave a comment, and then I can type my comment, and when I'm done, I hit the return key or enter, depends on your keyboard, and then that comment is saved. If I want to remove that comment, I just click on the trash can, and I go, okay, delete it. All right, and let's see. Yeah, let's delete that. Okay, I can also highlight some text, and I can leave a comment. I can strike through text. Let's say I believe this paragraph should just be deleted. I can strike through it and leave a comment. If I'm working on my tablet, I can use this pencil tool, and I can do it with my cursor as well, but it's very hard to write. And then each time you do that, it's just very hard to write with your cursor. But if I had a tablet, like my Apple tablet, my iPad, or some other kind of a tablet with a stylus or an Apple Pencil, I can actually handwrite comments here, okay? And there's a lot of other little features here. I can zoom in and out depending on my vision cycle, and I can scroll up and down through the different pages, or I can just use the page turner here. Now, I want to get back to that right-handed navigation, and if I really can't drag it because I just can't seem to click on it, but if I double click on that, or even I guess single click, there we go, it'll just reposition itself. So these are the tools that I have for grading. Now let's talk about if we've got multiple sections and multiple students, how do we navigate from one student to the next, or perhaps from one section period to the next period. So I'm going to go into a different class to do this, because now this is a class that's my English 3 class. I've got 4 periods that are cross-listed. So if I want to move between sections, I click on the name at the top here, then I go down to showing all sections, and then I can just choose if I want to grade period 4. I can just select period 4. It'll take a moment to repopulate, and I'm going to go back though to all sections. Let's talk about another easy way to navigate. If every student has turned in an assignment, you can just use this little arrow here to go back and forward, right? So these 2 arrows will move back and forward, but I can also just click on the student name and just scroll this way. If the name is blank and transparent, what that means basically is that they haven't submitted and the due date hasn't passed. So I can just skip over that student, but when I see a dot by the name, that's a student that I want to grade. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom here. Again, if you see a check by the name, it's already been graded. If a student is missing an assignment, Canvas will automatically put in your missing assignment grade, and you'll see a check mark. So you literally can just skip over any names that don't have the dot. And the dot, again, let's scroll all the way to the top here. The dot indicates that these students have a submission that needs to be graded. Now let's talk about how do students view this feedback that you just provided. So I'm going to go back to my original class. I'm going to go into student view for this demonstration. So let's give that a moment. Now typically, what do students do to find the feedback? They're going to go to their grades. This is just kind of a typical behavior. They'll click on grades, and they will see here's the assignment they just did. There's a little dot here. That means there's a change to the grade book, and they want to look at this. They can see their score, okay, 32.22 out of 45. And then there's 2 icons here. This little icon, this little dialog box, is that right side comment, and they can view those comments that were left on the right-hand side. And this icon right here is the rubric. If they click on that, and there's a little bit of scrolling, they can see how they did on the rubric. And they can just kind of scroll through there. And oh, we do have a little problem here. I did not select one of these. Your student's probably going to say, hey, you didn't give me a grade in this category, and I didn't select no marks. Then I'm going to go back and regrade that assignment. So that's maybe another reason why students should check over work. And of course, I was just kind of clicking really fast for this demonstration. Now, the question is, what about those on document comments that I made. It's a little bit tricky. What students need to learn is they got to click on the title. So I'm in the grade book, I'm looking at the grade, I looked at the right side comment, I've looked at the rubric, but my teacher likely has left some comments on the document, or I shouldn't say likely, perhaps we communicate to our students, hey, I've just returned your grades for a particular assignment. Please look at the in-document comments as well. How do they do that? They're going to click on the title of the assignment, give it a moment to populate, and then they're going to go over here to view feedback. There's a little dot here to indicate comments that has feedback that hasn't been viewed. So they'll click on view feedback, and then I typically tell my students to expand the window so they can see the bigger picture, and then they can zoom in and out. And they'll be able to view the comments that you made on the document. And they can even reply to those comments. You're not going to get a lot of students replying to these comments, but they can reply to on-document comments. Now, you may have noticed there's just a little bit of clicking to get to this feedback that's on document. I think it could maybe be done a little more efficiently if Canvas would have an icon so that they can just view on-document comments. But right now, this is how it works. So students just need to learn that to view on-document comments, they got to click on the title here, and then they got to click on View Feedback. And again, I usually recommend that they expand the window so they can see the entire document. Could it be done differently on Canvas? It certainly could, but this is how it works, and it works pretty well. I actually will have students that will email me sometimes on a major assignment and ask for more feedback, or sometimes I don't leave feedback and they'll ask for feedback. So this is one way that I can do it. Now, if I'm engaging the students in their Google Docs, they're sharing their docs with me, and I'm leaving comments on their Google Docs, I'll just let them know, and I'll make a little comment here to view the comments in the Google Doc. So there's got to be a little communication between us and our students, how we're leaving feedback. But I do use the on-document feature often for work. So it's a system that they should learn, but there are also many different ways that we can collaborate with our students and leave comments in their documents. It could be a shared Google Doc that we're leaving comments on. If I'm using turnitin.com, I can use the Feedback Studio. So there's a lot of different places, and we just need to help our students navigate through it. Hopefully this video has given you a nice overview of the SpeedGrader, how to interact with students. Oh, by the way, just one last thing. Notice that I did reassign this assignment. And so right here, the student sees that they need to resubmit the assignment. So that's a nice feature. Anyway, this is Mark Adams at James Lick High School. I hope that Canvas is working well for you, and I'll be producing some more videos as we go through the school year.